not a Jew eyes,
hath not a true hands,
organs,
dimensions,
senses,
affections,
passions,
fed with the same food,
hurt with the same weapons,
subject to the same diseases,
healed by the same means.
warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is?
If you prick us,
Do we not bleed?
if you tickle us,
Do we not laugh?
if you poison us,
Do we not die?
and if you wrong us.
Shall we not revenge?
Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 1, William Shakespeare in the 1590s.
Artificial intelligence is rapidly advancing at unheard of rates, with chunks of our lives being replaced with robot brains and hands and muscles. They're replacing our jobs and integrating themselves deeper and deeper into our society. The question is, will they one day replace us humans who have deemed ourselves so worthy of being unique and special people? Could they possibly be people?
First, we need to discuss necessary and sufficient conditions. A necessary condition is an absolute requirement. A necessary condition of being something is a condition you have to meet if you are that something. For example, to be an alpaca, it's necessary to be a mammal. To prove something isn't a necessary condition of personhood, we would need to find a person who doesn't meet that necessary condition. A sufficient condition is a condition that makes something definitely something. If you're an alpaca, you're definitely a mammal, no need for further checks. However, it isn't necessary for you to be an alpaca to be a mammal, since other species, not alpacas, can be mammals too. To prove that something isn't a sufficient condition of personhood, we would need to find an example of something that meets that sufficient condition without being a person.
In class and in other places, we've already considered a few conditions that may be necessary or sufficient conditions, such as love or intelligence or consciousness or communication. First, love. We don't think love is a sufficient condition. Dogs, elephants, and alpacas, hopefully, are capable of feeling love, but we don't think they should be considered persons. We also don't think love should be a necessary condition either, as psychopaths and sociopaths are incapable of love, but they're definitely people.
Intelligence, however, seems like a reasonable necessary condition, as humans are people and humans are known for their intelligence most of the time. Although some humans may be slightly dumb, they're still relatively more capable of complex thought and intelligence than chickens, who need to know a certain amount of stuff to do anything, and need to be able to acquire this knowledge, thus intelligence.
Consciousness, thoughts. We think that this is a necessary condition. To be a person, we should be conscious, aware, be able to conceive of ourselves. Humans in comas aren't people. Sleeping humans aren't people, but you still shouldn't kill them randomly.
Although communication seems like a promising candidate for a necessary condition at first, we wouldn't consider it a necessary condition. Say you are Schrodinger's cat stuck in a box. Are you still a person? Yes. Are you capable of communicating with anybody outside that box? No. Therefore, communication cannot be a necessary condition.
Since we don't want this video to end up excessively long, we'll list the rest for necessary conditions and move on to sufficient conditions. Necessary conditions include consciousness, intelligence, motivations and intent, and many more.
A sufficient condition of personhood is the ability to express oneself through means of art. Yes, we've all seen the videos of elephants using paintbrushes, but is it doing it to express itself, or just because the paintbrush is in front of it? Meanwhile, people will be able to produce something expressing themselves, a meaningful painting, dance, song, piece of writing, etc. Still, we don't think that the ability to express oneself through means of art is a necessary condition, because some people might not be particularly good or interested in creating art.
We also believe that though intelligence is already a necessary condition, it is also a sufficient one. One might say that some animals have developed intelligence and complex thought, but as we have mentioned earlier, humans are still relatively more intelligent. Now, some examples of fictional characters and whether they should have been considered people.
It's safe to say that we all know who Dobby is, I think. Dobby was indeed not a human. He was an elf, a house elf to be specific. He had to do everything his master told him to some extent. But if you've read the books or even seen the movies, I think we all agree that he was definitely a person. Dobby had all necessary conditions. He definitely has complex thought, when he forms not only one but multiple plans to try and get Harry not to get to Hogwarts. Obviously, Dobby is conscious. He also has some very sufficient conditions. Dobby, though you wouldn't think it, undeniably expressed himself through art when he made those adorable little socks for Harry. Another very interesting speed piece from Harry Potter was the gnomes. In the beginning of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Ron helps Harry escape the Dursleys' house. Upon arrival at the cozy burrow, Wizards Weasley says that Fred, George, and Ron must denome the garden as punishment for sneaking out of the house without notice. Harry volunteers himself because he's never denomed before. We don't think that the gnomes are people. Firstly, they lack intelligence, as George says. See, they're not too bright. The moment they know the denoming's going on, they storm out to have a look. You think they'd have learned by now just to stay put. It is clear that the gnomes have no ability of complex thought nor intelligence. This is why they aren't considered people in the books, and why wizards and witches don't give them human rights, and shouldn't.
Now, Geordie from Moon. He clearly has intelligence, capable of having conversations with Sam Bell and even leading and manipulating him in some scenes. He also has motivations, whether programmed in or not. But the question lies in whether he is conscious. Consciousness is awareness, and is Geordie really aware, or is he just imitating awareness? This is called the chess problem in Ex Machina, and there isn't really a satisfactory solution, but we think that a perfect imitation of awareness would be awareness, and thus it is decided. Our robot friend here, Geordie, is a person. Remember that little speech from the beginning? Shylock, from The Merchant of Venice, was a Jew in a time where Jews were regarded as subhuman, not quite people. Jews were definitely people, but, however, he didn't study PRS with Mr. Thompson, so his conditions for being a person are easily corrected. However, he does question the meaning of personhood in a time when most didn't, and that is good enough in its own right.
We think that in the future, robots could possibly be considered people, just like Geordie from Moon. Yes, robots can be considered people. So should they be given human rights? Technically, yes, but they are called human rights, not people rights.